We're live. Hello. Hello, everyone. Wizard. Wizard, where's the wizard? Hope everyone is doing fantastic. The wizard, yep, there's the wizard. There we go. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the 3 thumbs up. Appreciate it. I'm outside. Hopefully we don't cut out like last time. But no risk, no reward. Let's see how the connection is. Hopefully the connection's better. But yeah, new video went up last night. Go outside. It'll make you a better artist. Some things that we talked about in the last live stream are in that video. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That one was I've done this style before, kind of stream of conscious talking, and I really like it, and I think it gets at certain things that my other structured scripted videos can't quite get to. Not that it's anything necessarily better or worse, but it's a different style, and it speaks to a certain power that content can have, like feeling like you're in the presence of the person talking, and really just having a conversation with them. It's a content style I want to develop more and explore more. The next video, the video I'm working on right now, that I'm planning to release next week or the week after, but there's my live stream alarm. My next YouTube video is probably going to be one of my most scripted and like shot listed videos that I've done so far. There's B-roll for sure, but it's a lot more calculated. It's a lot more planning that's going into it. So it's a lot, but I really love the ideas that are going to be explored in the next YouTube video. It also has to do with nature. It has to do with the outside world. Sort of like an essay video that has to do with, the title will be what nature can teach us about art. Or at least that's the working title. What nature can teach us about art. Yeah. Hello, Astro. Thank you. I'm happy that you love the video. Thank you for the love and support. Happy that it resonates. Happy that it helps in any kind of way and fashion. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope that you are having a productive day, doing things that are productive for your soul, whether that is rest, some amount of work, good energy, sunlight, water, placing your attention on the things that matter. Hi, Tozak, so grateful for you. Oh, thank you. I'm grateful for you, Baba. Thank you. Thank you for the purple heart. Love the outdoor setting today. Yeah, the outdoor setting. I really want to move these live streams outside. Last time the difficulty was that the connection was a bit wonky at the end, but like I said, no risk, no reward. So I want to be outside and just, even if the connection's iffy, I think it's worth being outside in this space. I just love, it's a completely different mood. Like I don't want to be in my basement for these live streams for sure. Like some of them I'll be indoors and whatnot. Actually, not sure at what point what I want to do when I want to do it. But if you guys know YMS, yourmoviesucks.org, that YouTube channel, Adam, I used to watch a lot of his content. I actually saw him once at a film festival, Sundance. But he makes content about movies and movie analysis, reviews, and stuff like that. And he did live streams where he went through his Blu-ray collection. And I think I want to do something like that. That would be a lot of fun. I don't know when I want to do that, but yeah. But like that would be something that's indoors. But the outside setting is beautiful, and environment has impact on your thoughts. So yeah, I really enjoy your video, and the color of the videos are amazing. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, for, specifically the one about the project, that project is waiting for you. I really want to, I liked trying out something different. I went for a cooler kind of tone for a lot of those shots, like the blue I really loved. So yeah, that's cool. And that was, very simple to do, just putting down the temperature on the camera when I recorded. Saturation. It's funny. I don't really do much for, I've gotten that question before. How do you color grade your shots and whatnot. I think a lot of it, because the color grade, I don't do anything in the color grade. I literally just contrast, saturation, just kind of basic stuff. I don't do anything fancy. It's really just it's in how you shoot, like what you're shooting. What are the colors that you're shooting? What are the warm and cool lights that you're using? I think if you want to get nice colors, like at least for me, I don't focus much on the post-production stuff and the color grade. I focus more on like what I'm actually shooting when I'm there on set, which is really just the house that I live in. Hey Dozak, got a question for you. How to get over the hump of actually committing to something meaningful? I would recommend you watch, if you didn't watch already, my video that I was just talking about right now. That project is waiting for you. In that video, I kind of talk about how I think part of the psychology of why we don't commit to the projects we have to is because we don't believe that it's worth it. Either we don't believe that, it's not worth it because I'm not going to perform that well, or it's not worth it because I'm not going to make something good, or it's not worth it because, it's not going to do, I don't think it's going to do something for me, or I don't think it's, but I kind of go over the reasons why I think it is worth it to ultimately confront that project. I think that unless you go to the root of something, you're never going to build a long-term kind of solution. So you can't, that's why it's hard to, David Goggins talks about this, and I think it's really genius. He talks about discipline. The issue is when you try to implement discipline just for discipline's sake, without addressing the stuff that's in your mind and the stuff that's at the root, then it's like trying to fit things into a garage that's cluttered. But once you take care of the clutter of the mind and you address the issues at the root of your anxieties or fears or lack of purpose or lack of direction, once you address those things at the root and the foundation, then you can declutter your garage. You can fit a car in there. You can fit 2 cars in there. You can fit a bike in there. I think the way that he words that is really, really beautiful, and it's very poetic. It's something I resonate with. And there's a lot of ways to go about that, about getting to the root of things. Solitude, I believe spending a lot of time in solitude, an hour or 2 in silence a day, coming to know yourself and your soul, journaling, getting into the practice of journaling, seeing why you believe the things that you believe, why it is that you love the things you love. Life's too short to be unhappy. Life's too short to not confront those things. So you should get on that ASAP if that resonates. But spending time in solitude, praying to God, asking God for guidance and direction, meditating, spending time outside, change your environment. Don't spend the entire day indoors. That will, I think if you stay the entire time indoors, then it just has obvious effects, it creates kind of subconscious claustrophobia. I think we're not meant to be inside all day. Once you address those deeper things, that creates a strong foundation for then to implement things like discipline and meaningful goals that will bring you to places. Now it's all about balancing things, because actually sometimes the best thing you can do is just to work on something. Sometimes that pulls you through to the answers that you need. So you need both things. But I think that if you're truly lost and you truly feel like you just can't for the life of you implement some kind of discipline, you need to address those things at the root, because those things you'll have to confront at some point. And yeah, and don't wait to commit. You don't have to wait until you've meditated or prayed or spent 2 hours of solitude a day for months and months. You can start that project now, not tomorrow. You can start it today and also do those things. Yeah. Wizard Tommy, Wizard in the Forest, the Wands, live streams in a month, 2 live streams in a month. I'm trying to do 4 in a month, 1 a week, the weekly live streams. Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining, Kurt. Love the conversations we have, Kurt. Very meaningful stuff. It's the reason why we connect on social media. It's the reason why we have this space. James, the UFO. Get on that mind frequency. Wee, JDO. What's going on, JDO? How you doing? The whole gang is here. What's up, fam? What's up, Nick? Thank you for joining. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you joining. Thank you for coming. I want to fit a UFO in my garage. You could fit a UFO in your garage. You could fit anything in your garage. You can do it. Anything's possible. Anything's possible if you believe. Anything is possible once you believe. Yeah, you can fit a UFO. Garage is limitless. The power of the mind is the power of the soul. The power of the mind lies in its ability to adjust to the soul. I got a question, man. Sometimes I feel like my brain power is 1%. Yeah, rest. You need rest. Definitely, you can keep things very simple. It's easy to get overwhelmed with like strategies and tactics and plans, but just sometimes you have to return to simplicity. Just get out a piece of paper and write down the things that are in your control and the things that you believe that you're doing that are resulting in you having 1%. Okay, I'm not getting enough sleep. Let me write that down. I'm spending all day inside. Let me write that down. I'm not drinking enough water. I know I'm not drinking enough water that I should. I'm not moving enough. These are just examples, but write down the things that are, in your control, and then address those things. Address those basic things first. And I don't even want to go into the rest right now because like the rest figures itself out. Just start with that. Sometimes when you get too much information, this stops you from just acting on the obvious thing. You got to be like that plane. Just fly. Just fly. Got to fly one flap at a time. But yeah, always remember you have the answers within. You always have the answers within. You have the answers within that will tell you why you are at 1%. And if that's the case, then you also have the answers within and how you're going to get to 100%. But you must believe. How do you feel about using plant medicine for spiritual healing to get to the root of things? Yeah, so plant medicine is very interesting. Psychedelics are very interesting. I always think about the story of Adam and Eve, the tree of knowledge, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I believe that psychedelics and plant medicine lead you to a place that is definitely real. I don't think it just makes you go crazy and then you just, you start eating dogs and cats. I think it leads you to a place that is very real. And believe me, I've done my own research and my own, kind of experience learning about these things. But there's a sort of sentiment that um, it was I forget where it was in some kind of YouTube video I watched. Some guy was talking about this. I forget what exactly the story was, but it was something along the lines of, you use these things, you use these substances, these medicines as a sort of not potions, but like these like boosts of energy, spiritual energy, leads you to like signposts. But then it is only when you remove everything else and you only rely on the power that is already within you, then you find the eternal jet fuel that leads you to the places that you're meant to go. And I resonate with that a lot because I believe, again, I don't think that the places that medicine leads you to is crazy. I think it's very real. We all have our own spiritual journeys and spiritual evolutions to go on. But I do believe that the true power, the power, um, the power that those substances activate, you have to believe that that is already within you. And it is when you take everything away that you become most powerful. It's almost like technology. If you look at it like with humanity and technology, you guys should watch the film 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's my favorite film. It's like a meditation on evolution, humans, technology creations. And one of the biggest ideas from that film that I get is that technology only makes us as powerful as it also makes us, or the power that technology gives us is the same as the weakness that it gives us, because the more we depend on something, the less powerful we become. If I depend on something external to myself to do something for me, then I am beholden to that. If I rely on a certain substance to give me knowledge, then I'm beholden to that. What happens when I pursue that knowledge myself? And that is why you could take someone maybe who does psychedelics maybe like once a month, and they attain some kind of state and some kind of knowledge or some kind of place, some ethereal realm, and they get downloads and ideas. And that, not that any of that's fake, that's all real stuff. I believe that. But I think you could take the same person who doesn't do any of that and does still spiritual practices with their own straight from the spirit, and they can go to the same places, and they, if anything, they can go beyond even more. And that's not to say that, you know the engagement with psychedelics is necessarily inherently evil, but I do bring it back to the story of Adam and Eve, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. At the end of the day, only God knows. I do believe that. Um, but that's something, it's something that I've pondered the past few years. Believe me, in my own journey of contemplating these things. You have to do what's best at the end of the day. But I do believe that someone who is sober their whole life, and something that that I am on the journey of right now, that they can attain, you know, the spirit is already within, and you have to believe that. I think that even if you do engage with those substances, still remember that truth. This is your spirit. It is within you, and it always has been, and it always will be. Um, yeah, I mean, I certainly think that there's a reason why they've done studies on patients with depression, and the mushrooms are a lot more successful than things from big pharma. I'm definitely very anti big pharma. It's a business at the end of the day. Um, that's a whole rabbit hole. Um, but yeah, the thing is the place that it brings you is a real place, but you're also able to get there without it. Um, yeah, and in my conversations too with other people, this has been kind of similar things. You know, engaging with those substances, you come to a point where you realize, like this power is within. It really is. Have you attended all his live streams, JDO? A true bro. You guys are true bros. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for having these conversations. Hope that everyone's doing well. I hope that my presence online, my content helps you to reconnect with yourself and to embrace life and embrace the things that you have to do. Because I believe that your time and your seconds and minutes are extremely precious. That's why it's always an honor when I see a lot of views on my videos, because that's time out of people's lives. Time is the most important thing that you have. So I just hope that that time is valuable for you, that gives you time back in return. I hope you get more out of my video um, than than before when you didn't watch my video. I hope that it gave you some kind of value. I want an alien to heal me. Watch 2001. 2001 taught me that we are the aliens. You are the alien. That's why you want a UFO. Or no, is that Kurt? Yeah, Kurt wants a UFO. I want a UFO in my garage. You ever get feelings that you can't really explain using words? Yeah, that's what art is for, right? Joe Rogan said it in a certain way, where like there's certain things that that words were not created to describe, certain things that you can only be experienced and felt. This actually reminds me of I think James, you put this in the Discord. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I loved it when I read it. It was some kind of story in the. If you guys want to join the Discord, check out the Patreon. Link in the YouTube bio or YouTube descriptions. There's a story about a philosopher. I forget beat by beat, but it was something like a philosopher took his student to play basketball, and they played for hours until they were both exhausted and they were lying on the floor. And the philosopher told the student, he was like, "You feel that feeling?" The student's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That something that you can't learn about, you can't read about." And so sometimes true wisdom is only found, actually a lot of times the true wisdoms, certain wisdoms and lessons are only found in the experience of doing things. So yeah, and you can't learn about it in a textbook, or you can't learn about it in a certain school of philosophy. So yeah, experience. And then again, like art, that's the beauty of art. It communicates things you just put into words. Have you seen the 1951 Bollywood movie Awara? No, I'm writing it down right now. Awara. I'll check it out. Missed one though. If you can't express how you feel in words, the only acceptable way of expressing yourself is to scream at the top of your lungs till the voices stop making sense. I think screaming is a type of therapy, right? Going out into the woods and screaming. It's like in the film Honey Boy. It's a pretty good scene where it shows that. Yeah, if it's a healthy form of letting out a certain energy. Also, yes, love our convos, Tommy. Apologies for the long messages on there. I get too excited. No, it's great. Just give me. I just need some patience to get to it, to read it, but I love it. Thank you for all the thoughts. Please freestyle, Tommy. Some of them are doing. I'm using. I'm what I gotta do to get it through. I'm super unit innovator, and I'm gonna rub that anything to say is saying enough for me. I used to be obsessed with Eminem. Can you do a cartwheel? I probably can. I would. Is it worth it? I was gonna say I would bring it over there, but that's where we lost connection last time. I'll do it at some point. Towards the end of the stream. Towards the end of the stream. Try and remind me. I will. I promise that if I remember, I will do it. Yeah. I just don't want to lose connection, but I haven't done a cartwheel in a minute. Actually, I don't even know if I've ever done a proper cartwheel, but yeah. Challenge accepted. Follow your passions and try to embody love and gratitude as frequently as possible. Yeah, gratitude. If you can't find the fun now, you'll never find it. Yeah. Do that in the morning. Embody those things. Thank you. I appreciate your perspective. It's very empowering. The power is already within. Absolutely. Yep. Yes. That is what I believe. Thank you for asking that question. I want to wake up. You can wake up. All the things in the world that activate that curiosity. It's like the Matrix. I watch the Matrix when I have the when my spirit's like, we need to wake a bit more. We need to wake up a bit more. Matrix is great. But also shadow work is important. I know in spiritual spheres it's common to completely shut out the negative experiences of life. Spiritual bypassing. Yeah, I mean, you can't, it's the yin and yang. You can't not have the light without the darkness. The thing that I think about is that the closer you come to the light, like when you move towards a light source, your shadow becomes bigger, right? Like, so if with like a lamp or something, if the lamp's on the other side of the room, I put out my hand, maybe there's like a little shadow on the wall. If I put my hand right up to that right up to that lamp, the shadow is massive. My hand is massive on the wall. So the closer you come to the light, the closer you come to those spiritual truths, the closer you come to God, the bigger your shadow becomes, the more you see, the more evil you can see in the world. So yeah, you can't have the good without the dark. If anything, the more good you see, the more bad you see as well. Everything becomes exposed in the light. So yeah, it's the point of life certainly is, I don't think the point of life is to chase happiness. It's everything, right? Yeah. There's a saying, the second that you try to avoid suffering, you've already lost. And it's true. You got me journaling. Let's go. Got to journal more though. Yeah. Get into journaling, baby. Get into journaling. I'll do a video on journaling at some point. I've done a lot of content on it, but I want to remake the first video actually that I made of intentional content was journaling is your new superpower. I made it June of 2023. I want to remake it though. I think I've evolved as a content creator. I would say my skill set has definitely taken its evolution since last year. Yeah, I could definitely have more things to say too, but I want to make a nice like journaling video, sort of like a video to help people get into journaling. Yeah, I have a lot of journals. I might have too many journals. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm always starting a new type of journal every other month. My dream journal, I have my journal for God, I have my morning and night journal, I have my goals journal, I have my planning journal, I have music journal, film journal, social media, my content journal, my stream of conscious journal. My most important journal, the one that I think everyone should have, is like a general journal for like stream of conscious, like just this journal. I have it with me in the morning when I go outside and I spend my time in silence. I have it with me on my bed as I take downtime to not do anything, as I'm just sitting on my bed for like 30 minutes or an hour, just kind of closing my eyes and just journaling any thoughts that come. anytime if I watch a video, I write down my notes on there, my intuitive impressions. Your intuitive impressions of the things that you experience, the movies you watch, the videos you watch, the conversations you have with people, your intuitive impressions of those things, the things that you believe that your soul is the reason, the reason why that thing came into your life and the lesson that your soul is meant to learn from it. Write it down in this journal. This journal is going to give you everything that you need. It's really just like it's a documentation of the signals that you receive throughout the day, and it is my favorite journal by far. And yeah, time in solitude, silence. I just write down things that come to me. I love it. I love the journal so much. It is really, and it's something I committed to more so in the past month or two, and it's really revolutionized things. I love it so much. It's like the own wisdom from the soul just reflecting back at you. It's really, really great. And that's the beauty of journaling. Is like it is the power of journaling is the power of the soul. It's just documenting what's already within. You don't have to learn something. You don't have to go out and study something. It's already here. All you have to do is write stuff down. Be still, write stuff down. I had years of depression and detachment from my soul. I was heavily disassociated most of my life, spent a few years in solitude and found purpose again. My passions revealed to me by spirit. That's your story. That's your movie, bro. That's the plan. That was written. It's beautiful. I'm happy to hear that the solitude and purpose was found. And ultimately, it's a good thing that you went through all of that. Brought you to where you were meant to go. Can't have the good without the bad. Life is full of blessings and lessons are blessings. So life is full of blessings. Do it. Try it. The song "Do It, Try It" by M83. I love M83. Someone said that song's the chords sound like the Dream On music that I use in my YouTube videos, and it's very true. Actually, I love that song. I listen to that a lot. It's nice for like inspiration and productivity. Yeah, I had a friend whose parents would host festivals where they would scream and shout in a field in the countryside. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, I wonder what that sound like. I wonder what that sound like from like someone super far away. Yeah, yeah. Hey, if it's done in like a good intention, like I said, the screaming therapy. That's a good point. Closer I got to myself, the more I saw my shadow. I don't know how you keep track of your journals. Do you find it hard to find something in particular from past ones? For me, I use Notes app and Millennium so I can just search the words. Ah, yes. So this is actually something I was thinking about today because yeah, I journal a lot and I keep a lot down. And the thought is like, how do you organize it, right? Plain. Um, I was thinking, yeah, like, because the other day, right, I was journaling about certain. I was reading a Da Vinci book and I had a thought on art about how like art is there or art is something about art being a spiritual practice and how you come to know the lessons and wisdom from the soul. And so engaging in art and creating art is somewhat of a way to learn philosophy. It is an act of philosophy. Like it is an act of, I forget exactly what I wrote down, but something like that. And then I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. This is genius. And I put it down. And then later I was thinking, I was like, well, what if I want to access that again, you know? And yeah, I think maybe that's where, like you're saying, like Millennial Sun Digital, that's where like maybe a digital journal could come in handy. Um, just like like basically like copying your physical journal entries into some kind of document so you can search it up. It could also be physical too, of course, but yeah, it's a tricky one, right? It's definitely tricky. Um, kind of keep track of everything because when you want to go back to something, cause sometimes I'll be reading like my old journals that I filled out, and I'll just be like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome, this is a great thing, but maybe I wouldn't have like come back to it if I wasn't reading it back. So what do I do? Just read back every single journal, you know? Some journals I like flag and I like put sticky notes. I'm like, okay, this is, I want to come back to this. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm gonna try that out because I was thinking that the other day, having like a digital journal to document your entries from your physical journeys, so that you could be like, I want to see all of for the past 3 years all the thoughts that I've had about art. Let me see. It's like a glossary index for a book, like looking up certain things. Oh, this entry in this book. Okay, page 45. Maybe time consuming, but maybe worth it. Um, but yeah, but I'd say that's a good issue to have. If that's the problem that's on your hands, it's a good problem to have. It sounds super cathartic. It does. Wow, very profound thought. The closer you get to the light, the more evil we see in the world. Paraphrase from what you said. Thank you for saying that. Very profound indeed. Thank you for joining the stream, RH Girl. I wonder who you are, RH Girl. Thank you so much for inspiring people. Was completely amazed by your work on You Need to Romanticize Your Process. And have been looking forward to all your videos. Thank you so much. Wow, Sergio, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. That's awesome. That video has done a lot of incredible things for people, and it's something I'm very grateful for all of the support on that video. And I love that you resonated with it, and I put a lot of heart and soul into that video. So it's just incredible to see that a lot of people got so much value from it. It's something truly special. And yeah, I think the reason why that video touched so many people and a lot of people clicked on the thumbnail is that we all have a lot of dreams and we have things we want to do and desires, but we always seem to be hitting this wall, or just like laziness. We don't want to do it. You know, we have this ideal version of like this flow state or this routine or just like this way of loving your life and loving the process, but we just can't seem to get there. And yeah, that's what I wanted to speak to, and I'm really happy to see all the support that it's gotten, because it seems that people got what I was trying to go for, which is, certain principles and tactics in that video that you can implement to romanticize the process, but really more importantly is like the truth that it should be fun, like it should be something that you love. It should be, and it's not even just for the sake of having fun or the sake of it being something that you love. Romanticizing the process helps you become better at the process itself. It helps your performance when you have the framework of trying to have fun and trying to love what you do, because that's when your creative spirit comes out. So, one, most importantly, is that you have fun for the sake of having fun, because that's what life's about. Life is too short to not have fun with the things that you do. And then two, it helps the work itself, And then three, four, five, I mean, there's so many other things, but yeah. Maybe I'll make another video similar to it, because that seems like something that a lot of people like. So I'll think on more content I can make along those lines. M83 is my favorite band from like 16 to 22. That's awesome. M83 is I gotta listen to the rest of their music. The album "Hurry Up, We're Dreaming" is everything. I was just thinking of the album. It's incredible. That album cover. The album cover for that album is a huge artistic inspiration for the script, the film script that I'm working on right now. Yeah, it's that's a gosh, that music, that album is absolutely insane. That music, you guys should listen. M83, start on the album "Hurry Up, We're Dreaming." You guys all know Midnight City. It's great. I have a question regarding journaling. I used to journal, and a parent would find them, read them, and beat me for what I wrote. Oh my gosh, I'm very sorry to hear that. It's been a trauma for such a long time, and I desperately want to move past that pain and journal right again. Do you have any suggestions, ideas for healing and stepping back into my power regarding this? Wow. That is heavy. That is very heavy. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. That is not an easy thing to go through at all. I think that mindset can become something so powerful in a certain case like this. Um, Everything plays its perfect part in our lives. Um, Certain difficulties and things that I've had in my experience have taught me that they've had their own place, and they've brought me to the places that I was meant to go. And I know people close to me who have had to deal with trauma similar to the one that you're describing. And a big process in that is empowerment, and not allowing, because the reason why trauma, a lot of trauma is hurtful and it's something you have to heal from is because it disempowers you, and it makes you, it builds beliefs into your brain, into your mind, that you were beholden to certain things that abused you. And one of the most important frameworks to work with, I believe, that in healing is to reverse that, and is to take that power back, and remember that external physical brute force did nothing to the value of your spirit, and did nothing to the value of what your spirit wanted to do through journaling or anything else. It was merely a physical obstacle. And journaling actually will be, ironically, a tool in this healing process. It can be. And I'll tell you something that I have had in my own experience of healing from certain things. And you can try this. Maybe it will work for you. It certainly worked for me, and it was extremely powerful. And for me, it spoke to the power of visualization. I did a deep meditation. I have a certain memory in my life, certain memory of bullying that happened at school, that I did a deep meditation on why I felt a certain way. There's a certain belief that I had. This was a couple years ago, and I was like, show me, God, why do I believe in this? Why do I feel this way? And then I had a vision of a memory that happened in high school. And I realized, oh wow, like this was the root of it. And then what happened was, in that vision, I became autonomous in that memory, and I saw that memory playing back. And as I saw that memory playing back, I redefined what it was. And I forget exactly the phrase that I told myself, but it was something along the lines of, this does not limit me. This does not hold me back. I am powerful. And it's crazy because now whenever I think about that memory, whenever I think about it, it empowers me. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Whenever I think about it, whenever I remember it, I like, instead of like, oh, like letting it bring me down, it's because I almost reprogrammed the way that I relate to that memory. The power dynamic shifts. So yeah, it's deep visualization, deep meditation. Those are things that have helped in my own healing journey. That could work for you, but I think whatever it is, there's some sort of reprogramming that must take place, because the programs of the mind are the programs of your experience. You don't have the beliefs that you have in your mind for no reason at all. That's what that's what I brought before, the Matrix movie. That's the power of those themes and motifs is that, we are programmed by our experiences, and unless we consciously choose a belief for ourselves, it's not really ours. And traumatic experiences, form very deep and very powerful programs. And yeah, I would read books on it, because there's so much you can learn from reading a book on healing and about trauma. The Body Keeps the Score. I would recommend that. I haven't read it. I've read a bit of it. My mom loves that book. She's read it, and it's helped her a lot. The Body Keeps the Score. I would read that book, look into that. And remember, I believe that everything plays its perfect part. Everything happens for a reason. I think the fact that journaling had to do with this experience speaks to the fact that journaling could be very important for you. So I would definitely keep an open heart and open mind to the fact that, it wasn't like another activity that this happened with. It was journaling specifically, and I believe that there's a spiritual reason for that. So sense what you sense from that. Thank you for sharing. And remember that the answers are within. Ultimately, the things that I say, you take what resonates, and whatever you feel intuitively is right within, that's what you take. But you're always going to be able to put one foot in front of the other based off of your own intuition. So always believe that, and always remember that. This happens all the time. When I was in Cloud 9, second nature, riding in space with the Jedi. Shucks, I spoiled the name. I tend to write down so many ideas, and when I step away to do something, I get overwhelmed with ideas and try rushing back to write it down before I forget it. Something's changing your area or walking is beneficial for creative work, just don't forget, yes, all those things, walking, changing your environment, super, super duper important. It's funny, this is making me think about the other night, and this happens so many nights when I'll like, and this is actually, I want to get an audio recorder. I want to see if I can get an audio recorder, like something that's doesn't have a screen, you know, like a phone, just like get an audio recorder. So I'll be falling asleep, and then ideas, I'm just like, I don't want to be on my phone because the digital lights, it's not good to consume those things, have those things right in front of your eyes before you go to sleep. So I'm just falling asleep, and then I hear melodies, and I hear song ideas, and I hear riffs, and I don't want to forget them because I love them. And then I got to get my phone and record it, and the audio things. I'm like, okay, it's worth the risk. It's worth it. So yeah, it's always a matter of rushing. That's why I want to get an audio recorder so I don't have to rely on my phone to record certain things. Where do you think your fascination with the mind creativity came from, and more importantly, why? Came from watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. That movie, it's my favorite movie. That's the thing I always think about. That's what kind of triggered it. I watched that movie a bunch of times, probably like 6 to 10 times throughout the summer of 2020 during the pandemic. And then at the end of that year, I just had a whole awakening when my mom helped me figure out the themes of that film, which is pretty funny. But it has to do with what I just talked about programming. And I realized that I was a machine. I realized that all the beliefs that I have and all the thoughts that I have are ultimately because of my experiences, um, and yeah, the beliefs and programs of the mind, if they're not consciously chosen, then they're not actually yours. It's not actually you. They're ringing. Um, and that really just, I could go into, I mean, it's a whole thing. I could go into why I got those themes from the film, but maybe that's for another video or another, I don't know. Eventually, maybe I'll make a whole video essay on 2001: Space Odyssey. I've always wanted to. But yeah, I just looked at myself in that way. And then that just made me think about, and then I came to know, that's when my spiritual life kind of like began. And then I thought about, what kind of mission I believe that I was aligned with. And I believe that it was about being an artist and being a creative and chasing my own creative goals. And I thought deeply about creativity and all these things. I was like, all these things are connected. But yeah, that's really what the fascination came from. The fact that whole thing was triggered by watching a piece of art, that art triggered my soul in that way, really solidified it for me that I'm on a mission to create art that sparks change in humanity, because it happened with me. Consuming and being fascinated with a piece of art was able to trigger that kind of change. That was, again, it was already within me, but that thing brought it out. So I'm just like, how can I create this experience for other people? It's kind of like just like the question, how do you not change it's not a matter of changing people's minds. It's more of a matter of making people question their own minds. How do you get to that? How do you get the root to those beliefs and thoughts, which then results in the state of our world, because everything begins with a thought, and that's how I believe you can change the world. That's why I believe that art can change the world. Art can save the world. That's the kind of mission that I'm on right now. And that's why I believe that what I'm doing right now, content-wise, is super important. All of our creativity is very, very important, especially in the world we live in today. Yeah, I think that it's just crazy to think about, because literally watching that film, like, it changed my life. It changed everything, Think it, because when you think about the programs of the mind, that is your life. Everything is a result of your thoughts and your beliefs and the programs of your mind. So when you get, my brother's over there, when you get to the root of those things, then you can spark the most amount of change. It's not just a matter of like, question your food, question your goals, question your religious beliefs, question your yada, yada, yada. When you question the mind, that is the foundation of everything else. So the fact that piece of art triggered that out of me was like, whoa, that was profound to me. How can I do this? How can I do this for other people in the world? That is the power of art. That's why that's why I talk about a lot. Creativity is super important, and art is super important. I had a dream once that told me music has the power to govern. It's not just politics and traditional governmental laws that have the power to change. Art has its own unique position in this as well. And that's what I'm after. Oh, are you using an alien costume too? Alien costume? I have an alien costume. I can't count the amount of times I laid in my bed with earphones and listening to their music, especially when I was back in uni. Lower your eyelids to die with the sun. Yeah, that's great. Trying to think about music that for me, that kind of music is like classical music. I do that too. Radiohead and Pink Floyd. That's the music that I like close my eyes and listen to in my earbuds. Laying in the bed in the dark. Love your content. Thank you very much. Thank you, Seraph. I appreciate that. Laziness could also be the tired spirit wounded by trauma. Those that are more self aware may understand this, but many feel bad for being lazy, but in reality are holding a lot of unhealed trauma. Yes. Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Laziness laziness is not just an excuse. Laziness is something to confront. Laziness, there's a motive for that. Someone, I mean, think about it, right? Like you think about someone who's totally aligned with their mission and goal, and you know, there's no blockages. Which, not saying that's a real thing. I'm not saying that's even like a necessarily something you should try to attain. But in that kind of timeline, they're not going to be lazy. So why are we lazy? Why do we get lazy? There's always something at the root of that. Yeah. And again, you always have those answers within as to why that is. All the nicest people get bullied. Same here. Makes you stronger. You can turn it into something that empowers you, for sure. But yeah, this is a common experience for a lot of people. Direct explanation of reprogram past memory sounds a lot like EMDR therapy. Ooh, I'll look into that. EMDR. Yeah, interesting. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's a thing. That kind of idea for sure. Very powerful. Reprogramming our memories. Yeah, reprogramming memories. Speaks to the power that we all have within. The body keeps a score. Yes, heard so much about that. Yeah. It's a very well known book. I'm sure it's a great book to get into if you want to heal or you want to learn about your own self and your own trauma, and even program like I'm talking about the programs of the mind. I'm sure a lot of that stuff is in there as well. Evil will always try putting shadows in the light, but light always over dark. Good always wins. The light always wins in the end. Believe that. Oh, I hear and see a lot of stuff when falling asleep. Also, what sounds like people talking alien languages, and my mind starts saying them too. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Feed into it. Write down the things in your journal and read it back. Sometimes you don't know why you're getting something, but the mind has to catch up to the soul. So trust the things that your soul is sending you, write it down, and read it tomorrow and see why it was. What was that, LOL? Was it a plane, maybe? Or a loud pitch noise? Art can save the world, Tozek Filman. Maybe I'll write a book called Art Can Save the World. Such a powerful thing that a piece of art was able to have such a life-changing effect for you. Yeah, it's crazy. And I think, it didn't do that for me on my first watch. It was because I was so fascinated with it. It was because I was like obsessed with it. I was like, what does this film mean? Just sparked so much mystery. I just, dissect and dissect. Yeah. Makes me think maybe I want to do that for the film that I'm working on now. Create it in a way that someone can become obsessed with it. And if they do enough analysis, they can come away with being like, whoa. Put together all the themes. Yeah. I don't know if that was the intention from Stanley Kubrick, but I know that him and Arthur C. Clarke thought deeply on the script. I believe that Stanley Kubrick must definitely be aware in spirit of how much his creation had an effect on you. You know what's funny? I actually think I believe that because I had a dream where I was going up to Stanley Kubrick and he was like just on a couch and I was like, remember the film you made about the monkeys at the creation, humanity. And he was like, oh yeah, I think 2001. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that film changed my life. That's so good. And just like, he was like, I remember that. Maybe that dream was a message from his spirit. I like to think that. Yeah. Felt so real. Felt so like a lot of dreams, but that one in particular. Maybe. Maybe it was. It's funny how like he died 1999 and the art lives on. So the things you create live beyond you, your physical body at least. The things you make aren't just important now, but they can become important for lifetimes. It's very powerful. It can help you in the moment too. It can help you in the moment to remember the grand plan, remember how deep this stuff goes. Yes, RH Girl, I was called lazy, but I was in extreme burnout mode for years of disassociation. Yep. There's always something at the root. There's always something. Keep going, brother. What you're doing is really inspiring. Never get caught up in the numbers. Just always pursue that journey. Enjoy the process. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. I was journaling about that this morning. Keep your head down. Don't look at the numbers. Do what you know you need to do. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Do you believe that dreams can predict the future? I feel like Morpheus. All I'm offering is the truth. um, I don't know. This makes me think of Dune, visions and stuff. I think that dreams show you what you're meant to see. This happens in Dune and this happens in the Matrix. I believe in the Matrix, Morpheus tells Neo, or no, Neo goes to the Oracle and the Oracle tells Neo, you're not the one. Neo is the one. But the Oracle tells Neo, you're not the one. And then Neo goes to Morpheus. Neo's like, I'm not the one. She said, I'm not the one. Morpheus said, you heard what you were meant to hear. I believe that dreams are similar to that. Can they predict the future? Who knows? They show you what you're meant to see, to show you where to go. In Dune, and because Neo's told that he's not the one, that leads him down a path, like maybe if he was told he was the one, then he would act differently. But we see what we're meant to see and we hear what we're meant to hear. In Dune, Paul he gets in like this knife duel. Dune Part 1. He gets in this knife duel with this guy. And before the knife duel, he gets a vision. He gets like a dream vision of him losing the fight. He gets stabbed in the stomach and he dies. I think he dies. And, if he assumed that dreams and visions predict the future, then he would assume, oh, I shouldn't get in this knife duel because I'm going to die. But he did it anyway. And he won the fight. And maybe that dream and vision was a test. Are you willing to act upon with courage to move forward, even knowing that this could be a possibility? I think dreams show you what you're meant to see, whether it's what actually happens in the future or whether it's something different. The only way you can tell what a dream means is through intuition. How do you intuitively sense what a dream means? I think that dreams can predict the future to the extent that they are messages from God. In the Bible, God communicates with people through dreams all the time, throughout the entire Bible. And if you can look at dreams not as a way of predicting the future, but predicting the future to the extent that they are saying, here's a message. If you intuitively act upon this dream, then you will go about something in the future in the right way. That's how I believe that dreams predict the future. Not in the traditional sense of like, here's the lottery ticket number. This is what they're gonna call. All right, let me go to 7-Eleven and get my lottery ticket. Not in that way, but the source that dreams come from knows all. And so yes, it knows the future. God. But yeah, that's yeah. Brother, I want to start an animation studio. Any tips? Whoa. Looks like you already got it all. The fact that you have that ambition and that calling. I say my biggest tip is don't slow down. Don't give up because there's going to be tests. The fact that you have a calling on a venture so great, you're going to be tested like hell. But the biggest tip I can give you is to not give up and to look at your obstacles. It's all about mindset. Look at your obstacles as opportunities, as good things. And they are going to make you stronger. If you want to make a person strong, you probably wouldn't give them an easy life. So persevere through all things. That is more important, I believe, than any technical tip. Now, if you want to get into the technical side, I would say, animate. I assume maybe you already do animate. Do the work, build your body of work. Watch my video. That project is waiting for you. Watch that video if you haven't already, and have faith that this is a venture worth going on. Do the work, like I said. Do the work. I think that someone who wants to start a coffee company should probably learn how to make coffee. Lean into your soul. Lean into what kind of animation you believe that you are being called to make, and you will be successful. And get close to your soul. Your soul has all the answers. Your soul will guide you. Journal. Spend time in solitude. Receive that kind of guidance. Because the rest of the technical tips and hacks and fast routes is all, I would say, horse shite. It's all baloney, I think, if you don't create a solid foundation of faith in yourself, and a good source of where to get your guidance from. But yeah, do the work, persevere, don't give up, and make sure that you have good motives behind your work. And you cannot fail in that regard. I wish you the best of luck, though. That's an incredible venture and dream to have. And it's up to you if you want to make it happen. No one else is going to do it for you. I can tell you that right now. In terms of sci-fi movies, I highly recommend for you to watch Interstellar. I love Interstellar. Is incredible. Interstellar is actually incredible. I imagine you already seen this in Carl Sagan's Contact. I got to see Carl Sagan's Contact. I don't know if you've heard of that. Carl Sagan's Contact. Yeah, but Interstellar is incredible. Interstellar is man. Yeah. Interstellar is similar to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Actually, Christopher Nolan was inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey when he made Interstellar. Similar in the idea of, like, in 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's this idea of humans are trying to evolve so much that we've disconnected from the things that actually matter. And yeah, Interstellar is like speaks to me in those similar ways. At least I believe, because it's fascinating how the most advanced thing in that film, the Tesseract, is all its purpose. The purpose of the most advanced thing in that film, the Tesseract, is to peer into a little girl's bookshelf, into a human bedroom, which for me just speaks to the ideas and themes of, like, the most important thing is love. The most important thing is us and ourselves as humans. The mystery is not out there. The mystery is already right here. I think there's a lot of great things in Interstellar about mission, ideas of purpose. So great. Yeah. Interstellar is so good. I once watched it like 5 times in a week with my mom. It was great. Have you watched F is for Fake? No, I'm gonna write it down. That's the Orson Welles film, right? I gotta watch that. I know, I've been meaning to watch it for a while. And also, I'm a film student, or I was a film student, so that's so sweet. It very likely could have actually been a spirit, especially if it felt more vivid than normal dream. Yeah, it felt more vivid than normal dream, so maybe it was a spirit. That's awesome. I've had dreams that came true as soon as I woke up, so spirit can definitely interact with us when we sleep. Oh yeah, the world of dreaming. The world of dreaming is a real thing. World of dreaming, and if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you have to start with the first step, which is starting a dream journal and actually remembering your dreams and just writing it down. And then you work with the symbols of your dreams, and remember that the 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 dream means what you feel it means. Your intuitive impressions of that dream is the message that you needed. So that's why I don't think you need to rely on like dream journals or like dream Bibles. If they have books telling you what dreams mean, I don't think you need to rely on that. I think they can help, but you have the index within, and you can create your own. You can communicate with the dreams as well. Maybe the dream of him getting stabbed manifested because he needed to face the fear of dying before fun. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, for sure. It is. I mean, imagine that, right? Like seeing yourself die. That's. I know I'd have difficulty going into that fight. So yeah. So true. The test obstacles are opportunities to grow stronger. All very profound. Wise beyond your years, young man. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, the tests and obstacles are. That's the power of mindset. That's why mindset's so powerful, because one person can look at one thing and look at it negatively. Another person can look at it and be like, good, this is positive. This is good for my growth. It's all about mindset. Your video styles remind me of 2009 when creators didn't use editing software and posted raw videos, super nostalgic and very valuable. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much for saying that. That's so cool. I'm going to copy that down because I resonate with that a lot. And yeah, nostalgia and yeah, rawness and nostalgia. I that's definitely an artistic kind of style of content that I love. I want my videos. Sam Solik has a great style. I've been looking into him recently, just kind of studying the way he makes his content, and I think, yeah, it actually goes back to 2009. Like actually, like what you're saying, when creators would kind of just like vlog, kind of just very minimal editing. The reason why everything's hyper editing right now is because our attention spans are shot, and I don't want to just conform to that. Well, A, because it doesn't resonate, and B, I don't think it's necessarily healthy to support that that kind of like vehicle that needs to feed that short attention span mechanism within the collective minds. So I would, yeah, patience, rawness, um, yeah. My content style is still developing. I feel like I like my style now. And actually, I was journaling about this a couple nights ago about certain videos that I want to make. I think something I was journaling about is I want my videos to feel like 2001: A Space Odyssey, the film. I want the tone and atmosphere of that film. I've never experienced that tone and atmosphere in any other film that I've watched. If I can almost emulate or like get at something spiritual and atmospheric like that in my videos, I think that would be awesome. And I want to try and do that. My style of content, I still like I still like I feel like I still haven't found it. Um, Again, I like my content style now, but it's still I'll know. But I feel something within me that wants to come out. Maybe it'll take a few more months, 6 months, could take a year, could take however long. I don't know how long it will take. But when it happens, it will happen. And I'll know when I found my true style. And I know that it's something awesome, and I know it's something great. I'm just waiting for it to come out. I'm trying to harness its growth. And that only comes through just exploring. If I, you know, if I just wait until that style comes to me, maybe I would never make a video. That's why you kind of just got to start. You just got to do it. You just got to go for it. That's why I started last year in June. But yeah, I feel something great that's coming out. I feel something great. If you want to test a man's character, give him power. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great one. It's like money and power is exacerbates the thing that's already there. It's a great one. I love it. It's ego, control, self-control. So important. So in this example, say you're struggling in something, you have a dream of your bad future. If you never make an end to that addiction, kind of be a message to stop getting addicted to that certain thing. Act on that awareness will bring you to where you're meant to be at. Yeah. Your dreams will be messages about the most immediate things that you should act on. Usually, at least what I find. Yeah. Yeah. Those addictions will come up during dreams for sure. Dreams will show you the truth. That's why I also like some dreams we don't want to confront, but it's important to write about every dream and look at every dream. Because, yeah, they will show you. They will show you the parts that you don't want to look at. Contact film is very interstellar. I won't spoil it, but it will be right up your alley. It will speak to you massively. Let me know when you've seen it. Contact film. I'll write it down. Oh. Carl Sagan's Contact. That's cool. I'll watch that. That's awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait. Thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate it. Wouldn't surprise me if Interstellar is inspired by Contact. Maybe. A lot of these films inspire each other. We're just not aware of it. And even if not consciously, subconsciously, we are inspired by everything we watch. So that's also why you got to be careful about what you consume. What are you consuming? Your mind, body, and soul every day. You know, it's what are you consuming? You know, what are you putting into yourself? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you hearing? If you consume nothing, if you can go hours a day without consuming anything, then actually you are consuming the spirit, and that is the highest thing that you can consume. That's why silence is so important. I feel you do have a style, but it's ever growing. LOL. I agree. I agree. I do it. Yeah. Thank you. I have a style, but it's again, I feel like there's something greater within me. There's something that wants to come out. I feel it. I know when I feel these things, and it's itching, and it's just a matter of just making one video after the next. Like this video I'm working on, the nature one, what nature can teach us about art. This is I had a dream about writing a blog post about this, and now I'm turning it into a video. So I'm following that dream, that inspiration from the dream, and yeah, I woke up and it was just like my body woke me up at like 5:30 or 6. I just started like, again, you got to act on that inspiration. But yeah, it's I'm excited. I just gotta put one foot in front of the other. One video after another. One video after another. One video after another. It will form. It will grow itself. I get Quentin Tarantino vibe from your videos too. Super captivating without trying too hard. That's awesome. Wow. Thank you. That's great. Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, I gotta finish the rest of his filmography. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino. So then, yeah, super nostalgic. Then like super like 80 like 90s aesthetic, and that's cool. That's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, there's nostalgia is a powerful thing. It can definitely it triggers. No, it's interesting to think about nostalgia. How does it? Why does it? It's a certain package of something, right? Like the reason why it hits differently is it's a novelty. It has to do with novelty. Something becomes so old that it becomes new again, right? So the novelty package of nostalgia, that nostalgic aesthetic, can convey the same message in a completely different manner. So that's awesome. That's yeah. I keep leaning into that. I'm gonna use that as my soul's resonating in an interesting way. So I'm gonna use that as a sort of framework as I consciously develop my content style. That's really cool. I agree. Retention video editing is crazy. I learned it as an editor. It was a never-ending hamster. We all walked away from it. Yeah, yeah. It's if it doesn't feel right for you, then don't do it. Don't just go with the crowd because the crowd could be going the wrong way. And certainly, like, I totally get that retention editing, because it's like more, is more successful in a certain way for a video's performance, maybe. But it's like an investment, right? You just got to invest in a certain style that feels right for you, and eventually the right people will come along. And I don't think I've really done any crazy retention stuff. Only the most editing that I've done was like the older videos, like the journaling video and the screenwriting video. But even those, I didn't it wasn't anything crazy. Um, the main thing that I think about retention has to do with structure and scripting. When I say certain, like in my You Need to Romanticize the Process, right? I have a captivating kind of open and those cinematic shots, and the script is like it ponders questions and it makes you question your own process, and then I naturally flow into everything else. Um, and that kind of dramatic writing has to do with my own artistic practices, screenwriting, writing scripts, making films. That's all story and drama. So I think those things are definitely all connected. That's the reason why you write your scripts in a certain way. That's the reason why films captivate us, because the films open with a question. you know is the Terminator going to be able to reach the boy, kill the boy? Let's watch and find out, sequence after sequence, opening of a YouTube video script, principle after principle, tactic after tactic, and then conclusion. So yeah, it's all dramatic writing. You don't need the hyper retention, kind of editing to get there. I think we need a break from it, and that's where we kind of us creators can kind of see that's where people are starting audiences are starting to head. They're starting to get tired of the retention kind of style. And honestly, I'm not after you know I'm after my content is after the people who are going to resonate and come to it, for sure. So, as the others are saying, your videos have a certain quality to them. I like your spacey music too. They put me in a trance sometimes, and I'm just taking the info in. I like your camera shots. Thank you very much. Yeah, the camera shots are really nice to get. I have a lot of fun filming those. And yeah, the music, I use the same Dream On song a lot. I tried a new one out for the project. I made that song, and I want to make some more music, some more different kind of music. I think for the video coming up, I'm gonna make a different song. So yeah, I have fun making the songs. It could be a lot, but that's good. I'm happy that you like the music and the Schultz. Your voice helps too. Very calming. Yeah, soul to soul. It's a soul to soul connection. I don't want it to be an AI voice or a, you know, we're connecting. We want to keep this as minimally technical as it has to be, but we're trying to connect soul to soul. I think that's the whole purpose. We have to remember what the reason for it is. Would you consider yourself more of a fan of history or futurism, future possibilities? Ooh, maybe both, right? Because in order to know where we want to go, we almost have to reflect on where we've been. I would say I'm fascinated in the direction of humanity, which again has to do with both, right? Like the direction we collectively head towards, and where we have been. And there's a lot to learn from our history. And again, I think it has to. The programs of the mind is just like so important in all of that, because our collective direction is a result of our collective actions. Our collective actions are a result of our collective thoughts. Why do we believe in the things we believe? Certain structures in society are super powerful and will, you know, cause you to believe the things that you do. Media is very powerful. That's why art is very powerful. And I think it takes true connection with the soul, a true relationship with the soul, so that you can see how you truly feel about the world and how you truly feel about certain things. And then you can consciously choose what you want. For me, I've always been obsessed with the future. Just got a brief vision of you talking in front of hundreds of people. Felt like 5, 10 years in the future. Felt like you just released a film. LOL. Whoa. Wow. That's incredible. Oh, that's amazing. I I've given all I got to the film stuff. I'm going to where it's going to take me, and like I said, ultimately, I want the art to inspire and change. yeah, I think I have a lot of hope for humanity. I have. We have to have hope, right? Like we just need to. We just need to. And I think that our current ways and our current directions collectively are out of alignment with where we should be going for sure. But despite that, I have nothing but hope. You know, the thing that we have to realize is we get to decide. This is the world, right? God gives us a choice. We have a choice to make. We have a choice to make in our life. That's why I think we need to be able to inspire each other to act on the things that we have to act on, you know, to follow the path that we need to go down. That's why I think these kind of connections, content is very important. It can bring out the best of us. Um, because the individuals make up the collective. You cannot change the world unless you change yourself. You just can't. Um, so that is why we must focus on how we want to commit to the highest path for ourselves. And enough of that, and we collectively align with the highest path for our collective future. Yeah, and these are more ideas that I want to talk about on my YouTube channel. It's just a matter of actually making, just a matter of actually making the content. But yeah, different distinct styles is amazing. Distinct styles. Your distinct style is effortless. That's another YouTube video I'm working on. Your creative style is effortless. I always want to give time for the viewer to process what I just said or the info that was just provided. Yep, that's true. Yeah, space, right? Wait, you made the song you use in your vids? It's amazing, very fun. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, make I make like all the music that I make that I use in my videos. I'm pretty sure. There's one a message for young artists. There's like a song in the middle of that was copyright free, but the open and close into that video uses the song that I made. But yeah, I basically make like all of my music because I feel many YouTube videos don't give that sense of silenceness. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna write that down. I think that's very profound, JDO. Maybe that. Yeah, I think that's because when I say that I want my videos to feel like 2001: Space Odyssey, in 2001: Space Odyssey, I always describe it as like the silence and the atmosphere, the space. It gives you space to ponder the ideas of the film. When you're watching a film, that's just go, 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 action, 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 dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. There's not really a lot of space to process and reflect on your own, right? Something like 2001: Space Odyssey, when there's its own silence, it's like it almost like forces you. There's nothing else to do but to watch the images as your mind goes and thinks about what you're watching. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I'm gonna incorporate more of that. That's cool. In order to know where we want to go, we have to reflect on where we've been. Lots of gems shared today by you in the comments here. Yeah, I love these comments. That's why I love these live streams. These comments are. I think that these conversations are super important because we're all meant to be here on these streams. We're all meant to have these thoughts that we're having. And it's going to impact us in the ways that it's meant to impact us. The right people are here. Right now, there's 11 people in the stream. Everyone's meant to be here right now. I don't know why, only God knows, but these conversations, they make impacts in ways that we're not consciously aware of. It reminds us of things. And maybe, if anything, it's just one thought that sticks out from the rest. And when we act on that, it can change everything. So, yeah, these conversations are really important. And again, I only want to keep going forward with the content and everything. So I know that maybe these streams might get bigger and bigger and more people. So the time we have now with this, this amount of people with these quality conversations is very sacred for me right now. Where the channel's at and everything. And again, we're meant to engage in this way. We are the generation. This is our planet. We get to decide. Really love your work. I had a question. How do you actually enjoy or live in the moment? How do I enjoy something without worrying about the future, assignments, or deadlines? Huh. Yeah. Hmm. My true peace comes from my faith in God, my faith in God's plan. There's a verse in the Bible: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, he guides me. I shall not want. I don't need to want anything. I don't need to want a certain outcome of a deadline or assignment or something else, because God guides me. I will go to where I'm meant to go. Jesus says, "Take heart, for I have overcome the world." That's where my unshakable peace, that is tested, because God wants to test my peace and my faith. It's always tested. That's where it comes from. I think that monks spend years in the mountains meditating to come to the truth that you should not hold on to things and you should not want things. There's certain spiritual truths and certain pieces of wisdom that ring true throughout all philosophies and spiritual schools of thought. I think that's why we're here to live as humans, because we have our physical limits and we have our mental limits. It's like, how do we integrate these ideas? Because it sounds so cool, right? Enjoying life with no worry. How do we integrate it into a body that has trauma, that has programs, that has physical limits, that has anger? How do we do it? It's easier said than done. Um, I'm just gonna say this because it's coming to me intuitively. I think that the structure of the day, God designed the world in a very poetic and artistic and beautiful way. The structure of the day, I think, is like the structure of life itself. Where in the day you have the morning dew, the stillness of the morning, the rising sun, the sun rays of the day, maybe maybe a storm, maybe the rain, and then the sun sets at night and it comes to peace. And that kind of reflects a whole journey. You have the stillness of the beginning of the journey, then you go, and then you have your challenges, you have your storms, you have this, you have the busyness of the day, and then at the end you come back to stillness and you realize, oh wow, this stillness always existed. And I think that you can use nature, you can use the world, and you can use the moments of the day to help you align with that peace. Take time out of every day to return to that stillness. The more that you consciously put effort into returning to that stillness and returning to that peace, the more that it's going to find its way into the other areas of your life. And the more that it's just going to become your reality, where everything is okay. Doesn't mean that things aren't hard. Doesn't mean that you get stressful emotions. Doesn't mean that heartbreak doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that trauma doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that bad things will stop happening. But again, mindset, right? Mindset determines how you see certain things. And there are times in our lives where we allow something to catch us up and we spiral down negative thought chains. And that is when we reinforce this idea that because this happened, my life is bad, or because this happened, I can't have peace. There is no peace. Everything's not okay. I think I think you can have pain with peace. Pain without peace is anxious. It is scary. Pain with peace you can have. Um, you break your arm, that's going to hurt. You can still have peace within your soul. You lose a family member, that's going to hurt. You can still have peace within your soul. I really think it's like anything, like repetition is the mother of skill. That's what Tony Robbins says. So if you regularly take time out of your day to come back to that peace and that stillness, that will help. Yeah, I think I truly, the reason I bring up the day, like the signs of nature and God's design in the world, is because I noticed that happens with me. There's so many, honestly, more than half the days. Yeah, like more than 50% of my days, I will come outside and see either the stars in the sky, or I will see the sun setting, or I'll see, the day winding down. I will just remember, this is life. This is how it's always going to be. This is the same world. This is the same plan. This is, everything comes to a close. It's all cycles. And this will always be here at the core. So I think that that's something that I use. I use the outside world, nature, not necessarily the human outside world, because that's what can get us caught up. But I use nature to bring me back to stillness. That helps. Solitude. That's why solitude is important. Because solitude and nature go hand in hand for me. Yeah. Again, stressful states and bad things, hurtful things, they're not necessarily, doesn't equate to there not being peace. It doesn't mean that everything's wrong. Yeah. But in that moment, when you have an assignment or deadline coming up, you can notice your mind being already worried about it. But you have the power to control your mind. You have the power. Wow, my hair's crazy. You have the power to control your mind and direct where it goes. Right. Focus is your ability to control your attention. So you have strong focus on your mind with your mind, or mind your mind. No matter what happens, everything is going to be okay. But let's focus on right now, what's in our control, our ability to study for this assignment, excel in our performance. But even if an outcome isn't the way that we desired, it doesn't mean that things aren't okay. Everyone's journey is different, and it's everyone has their own ways of dealing with the mind. So you have to find your own personal relationship with your own mind and how you integrate. But again, I think that the question that you're asking really is about, like if you were to ask that to God, God's answer would be sending you to earth to live as a human. Because I think that's what it means to be human, is to learn these things, how to integrate these ideas and thoughts into a world that tests us. That's what the Bible's really about. It's about the tests, about our faith. Do you like old school hip hop? I like some old school hip hop. My parents are obsessed with old school hip hop, so I listen to it a lot. Yeah, my brother's again into old school hip hop. Why, is there certain artists that you like? The only really like rap I ever got into was Eminem when I was like 12. Maybe not the best music to listen to at that age, but yeah. Ultimately, I feel as though your content is very world healing, encouraging people to follow and connect with their most aligned paths. Tommy, future vids, more silent moments and less continuous talking. Haha, you're gonna make people sit in the silence more to reflect. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I'm gonna copy that down. Maybe. I appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Happy to be here with you all. We have big things coming for us if we pursue what we hold most dear. It's very true. It's very, very true. We have to. It is the calling. It's to listen to the soul. If you don't, there will be unrest. How's 80 minutes already gone by? Feels like 10. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to hop off a bit. I'm heading out with family somewhere. We're going to a football game, a local football game at high school. Thank you for your wise and kind advice regarding what I shared. I so value perspective on changing my story, reprogramming the mind. This live stream today has got me thinking a lot about it. That's incredible. The power of the mind. I'm very grateful. Thank you. I'm grateful for you opening up. Thank you for mentioning that, because maybe someone in this live stream listened and heard what they were meant to hear. Like I was saying before, these conversations matter, and everyone's going to come away with the things that they're meant to come away with. So I appreciate, I really appreciate you opening up, and your it is healing on both sides. I take so much away from these live streams, and I took away a lot from talking about that. So thank you for mentioning it. And listen to the soul. Listen to the answers within the soul. To be free is to be of self. To be of self is to see the commitment worth given to your desires, wants, and needs. To see the worth requires for you to believe, even in the moments of doubt. You have to believe. Yep, you have to. It's like courage is not not experiencing fear. Courage is acting despite fear. And I think that's kind of what it's about, right? Is like peace. Eternal peace is not necessarily, because the thing is, like, in the Bible, God says, Jesus says, you believe in me, you will have eternal peace. The kingdom of heaven is within. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have troubles. In fact, it actually says that you follow me, you will face more troubles, more challenges to be of growth. And yeah, to see the worth requires for you to believe even in the moments of doubt. Doubt will come. Fear will come. These things will come. Just because they come doesn't mean that you've lost. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have peace. It's all going to come. But it's a matter of seeing it as a test. Again, it always comes down to mindset and acting with courage, doing the thing you know you need to do. Yeah, I love the old school stuff. I listen to a lot of Nujabes, Jay Dilla, MF Doom, yeah. Tribe Called Quest, Nas, and Ninth Wonder. Got a lot of inspiration from the music made by those people. Do you make music? Because yeah, I mean, like, that inspiration all speaks to. Because I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm not huge into rap, but are there any? Would you say there's any modern day artists who are like, oh yeah, like they're going for like this old school kind of rap style? I mean, even if there are, I would say, I don't know, like, cause like if you're making rap or if you're making music, like those inspirations, yeah, if your soul calls to that, that's probably showing you what you want to make. That's awesome though. That is really cool. Mac Miller too, his music is great. Mac Miller's music. My favorite Mac Miller song is Circles. Circles is, I think it's genuinely like musically genius. Those chords, the sound textures of that song, the lyrics, the rhythm, the flow, the tone. The tone is one of the like that song communicates such a unique tone in such a strong manner. It's hard. I can't compare it to many other songs. Circles, I truly believe. Oh wait, no. Oh my gosh, I said Circles. I meant Good News. Circles is good too. Circles is great. Good News. My gosh, Good News by Mac Miller. I truly believe Good News is, for me, is one of the most genius songs I've ever listened to. Me consuming this has led me to journaling, having a better day than I was having before this live stream. So thank you. Yes. Thank you, JDO, for saying that. That's awesome. That's incredible. I'm happy that it helps you in that way. That's beautiful. See, the love that you receive is the love that I receive, because I feel that. Now, see what that means now for your life. Why did you write that stuff down? Why did you write it down? And then write that down. What is the action to take now? And how does this integrate into your life? If true, it will change everything. Spirits are being called PMPs, post material persons. Oh, what is that? Post materials persons. Yeah. Spirits are being called. I've only been producing for about a year, but I'm happy with where I'm going with it. That's great. I feel like I can sense a lot of this energy. It's almost like I can call upon it. That's awesome. You know, that's the same way I feel about my inspirations, the filmmakers that I follow, and the musical artists that I listen to, but more specifically the filmmakers. Is like you say, yeah, like I can feel the artist's energy. I can feel what they're going for. And that's the beautiful thing about art, right? Like what we were saying before, art communicates things you can't put into words. It's a unique mode, it's a unique form. So yeah, when you can sense that energy, it's like the way. That's what my sensory ethnography teacher said. Art is about the way, capturing the way. So what is the vibe? What is the way? How do you feel that in other pieces of art? I believe God itself is the energy put into the universe, including the ones who are no longer with us. It's all cultivated pot of life, ambition, intuition, self-expression, and love guiding us. Yeah. The more you see those connections and the things that you're saying, the more you come to know God, because God is in all of it. Yeah, that's beautiful. You can see God in a lot more things when you open your heart to it. I resonate. Supposedly, past artists, scientists, etc., have helped to create this new spirit communication technology. So it's like likely those artists are communicating with you. Food for thought. Yeah, interesting. That's fascinating. You know what's funny? Because then you look at it also in your way. When you create art, then you are calling out to the people who are meant to be called by it. It all flows. It all goes. It all goes. There's a lot more driving our art than we think. Something I'm exploring in my next YouTube video. The more you become conscious of these, the more you align, the more you free your creativity. I had this one YouTube live stream lead me to journalism because I saw a lot of creative spirits in him, felt called to produce, and silenceness and having good thoughts. That's awesome. Can lead me to making amazing stories. Yes, it all feeds the creative spirit, all unlocks it. What resonates unlocks.